So I'm going to kind of walk you guys through them all really quick. So the first is called a tripwire funnel. And in the book, I never called it a tripwire, but recently it's been kind of nicknamed this. A guy named Perry Belcher kind of came up with that term tripwire, and the industry's been calling it that, so we're going to call it that for this workshop, just so you guys know kind of, as you learn more online, people reference it and call it that, so we're going to call it that for this training. So tripwire typically is, the goal of a tripwire is a product that you're trying to get somebody to come in, okay, at a low barrier. For example, I told you guys earlier today about the .com Secrets Labs book when we created that. Initially, my goal was to sell it for $200 or $300. I was going to do a webinar and try to sell it. But I thought, you know what? Like, if I just gave this away for free, like, everyone would get it. And if they get it and they get value from it, they're going to love it. Okay, I remember because when we first got it, I gave it out to a couple people, and people like went crazy for it. And they told me like it's on my desk. I had tons of people say like, I got the book and it's in my bathroom and I read it every time I go to the bathroom, which is totally creepy. But that's a good thing, right? I want every time someone's going to the bathroom to think about Russell Brunson. Every time they're sitting at their desk, they're thinking about Russell Brunson, right? And so my thought was like, I want my best thing in the hands of as many people as possible. And so against like all logic, I said, let's just give it away for free. It was free plus shipping. So they basically come in, they put a credit card in, they pay, I can't remember, $8 or $9 for shipping and handling. We mail it out to them, and boom, they get my best product in their hands. Okay, that's the first thing. Now, in the next presentation, I'm going to walk through what happens after that, because this is where the magic happens, because you can't sell things for $0 and stay in business that long. So there's a bunch of magic that happens behind the funnel we'll cover in the next session. But that's kind of what a tripwire is. It's a low ticket thing to get somebody and to bring them into your world really quickly. So here's a couple examples. This is the .com Secrets Labs one. Again, with this little tripwire funnel, I can't even tell you, it's brought in over 10,000 new of my dream clients into our business. On the back of this, we sold over, I'd say over 150 people. We sold our $10,000 coaching program, and 36 people bought my $25,000 program from this. People are like, Russ, why did you get this book away for free? I'm like, because based on my numbers, I don't know what it is off the top of my head, $2.3 million we made from people who got this, got a ton of value, and then wanted more. Okay, so that's the .com Secrets Labs, one of our tripwire funnels. This is one of my friend's companies called Survival Life, and they went to China and found these little credit card knives for like 30 cents in China. He bought a whole bunch of them and made them free plus shipping. I think he paid $2.95 shipping and handling. He put this out there. First month on Facebook, they sold 130,000 of them. He's got 130,000 buyers onto their email list. And then Facebook kicked them off because they didn't want to sell knives. And they took it out. They've been driving traffic to a ton of other places. But I think last time I heard they had sold free plus shipping of these knives, like 400,000 or 500,000 of these knives. So 400,000 or 500,000 buyers have come into their world. I was talking to Mike yesterday. Mike, one of his companies buys traffic from these guys. And just for you to buy an email to their customer list is $22,000. Okay, and they sell like an ad every single day. And so like they're getting so many customers come in because of this really unique thing. Okay, so I don't want you to think like in your business, like what do you have that could bring someone in like that? Do you have a book? Do you have a CD? Do you have a knife like that's going to bring your dream client in? Okay, for these guys, they're in the survival market. Their dream client would love a credit card knife that's going to get through the TSA. In fact, their ads are so funny. Like the TSA won't even catch you won't even know you're packing your knives on the plane. Like all these weird things, but their dream customer, like that's what they want, to be able to like have a knife with them on the airplane in case terrorists attack, right? And so it brings their dream client in. Okay. This is another one that I thought was really unique. This is also the same guys that own Survival Life on this one. They started a company where they do suits, custom fit suits. And so trying to think like, how do we sell like super expensive custom suits online? Okay, it's not that easy, right? Like, how would you, like, it's not that sexy thing. Typically, if you want to buy a suit, where are you going to go? You're going to go down to the tailor and get fitted and all that kind of stuff. And so they're like, well, how do we do this? And they said, well, we know one thing, that not everybody who wears a suit has cufflinks, but everybody who buys cufflinks wears suits. So they found these really cool cufflinks, got them sourced in China, gave them away for free plus shipping, and they got hundreds of thousands of people who now get the free things on Facebook. Boom, now they can start selling them their suits, shirts, ties, all this other stuff, and they built a huge company based on that. Is that cool? This is one of my buddies, this is his supplement company, and he doesn't even charge shipping. He just, again, wanted to give value. So he's got this page that just says, hey, if you want a free sample pack, let us know where to ship it. No credit card required, just give me your address, we'll ship it out to you. And so you fill that out, you put it in, and she ships you this little thing in the mail, and it's really interesting. Every time I call him, I said, why don't you try to sell me anything? He doesn't, afterwards, on the next page, he doesn't try selling anything. He doesn't email you, like he just gives away free stuff and then hopes you come back. And his company has grown 20% every single month since he's launched this thing. They're making insane amounts of money just by giving away free stuff. You get a sample and you get addicted and they keep coming back. We call it the drug dealer close. Someone said that earlier. So that's kind of that's like a cool way with the supplement. So you guys have a supplement you can use that's going to attract your dream customer, your dream client in. This is one of my friends, because the examples I've shown you so far have all been like free plus shipping type products, but they don't have to be free plus shipping. This is one of my friends. He's in the real estate market and he's teaching people how to flip real estate. So he wrote this little report called How to Flip Houses from Your Cell Phone, and he charges $7 for this report. It's like an ebook. And he makes insane amounts of money from people who want to learn how to flip real estate buying this little report. Okay, so that's kind of what a tripwire is. It's a low ticket thing that is designed and crafted to attract your dream client. Okay, if you look at this book, you guys, if you watch the marketing we've done behind this, like everything about this was designed to get my dream client. Okay, I could have put something like how to make $1 million on the internet. Okay, but who's that going to attract? The dude that I don't want to be working with. Okay, we made this the underground playbook for growing your company online. Okay, I got Tony Robbins in her testimony, Diane Kennedy. Like this is bait that was created to attract my dream client. Okay, when we launched this book, we're not charging for it. It's free plus shipping because I want to get as many of these people in my world as possible, and then from there I can do all the rest of the stuff, send them up, sell them other products and other services. So for you guys, I want you to think in your company. And again, everyone's going to be different. Some of you guys, the tripwire style funnel is going to be the one you're going to focus on first. Some of you guys might not be, but some of you guys, that's going to be the one you want to do first. So start thinking like, what do you have? What could you create that's going to bring your dream person in? Okay, and it can be products you get from China. It can be information you create. It can be DVDs. It can be a report you write. There's a million different ways to do it. It's just what can you craft? What can you create? What's the bait? Okay, we showed you guys earlier. It's the bait. What's the bait that's going to get your dream client to bite? If you can create that, boom, you've got them. Okay, so that's what tripwire funnels are. Okay, the second type of funnel, which is the webinar funnel. Okay, now a webinar funnel is typically I'm selling a more expensive product. Like I said, somewhere from $300 up to a couple $1,000s. Okay, and the way that a webinar funnel works is somebody comes and it's more like a live event. Okay, when I got started in this business 12 years ago, it was funny. Like people were doing a lot of live events. This was how everything worked. And so you pay a couple $100, you fly out to San Diego, you go to an event. They have a whole room of people there, and they get someone come up on stage. They would speak and teach about something, and then they'd sell something, and everyone would run to the back of the room and give them money. And that was kind of the model. And I remember the first event I ever went to. I remember seeing this, and the first speaker got up on stage and he sold, and everyone's running to the back of the room. And I remember like doing the math in my head. The guy was selling a $2,000 package, and I'm watching people in the back, and I'm 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'm like, that guy just made $65,000 in an hour. And the next speaker gets up, he does a little pitch, and then he says, closes, and everyone starts running back, and he was selling like a $4,000 or $5,000 package. I'm like, 5, 10, 15, 20. That guy made 80 grand in an hour. I remember looking at it, I was like, I got to learn how to do what those guys just did. Like that was the most, these guys are making more in an hour than my parents were making an entire year. I remember being so blown away. And so for me, I started learning how to sell things from stage and things like that. And over the last 10 years, that's morphed where less people are doing live events because it's so expensive to get people to show up, but now they're doing virtual events. And the process that we're doing is, and some of you guys, hopefully if you went through the book or the training, I showed you guys my perfect webinar script, which is a script we built to actually how to do the presentation. But the perfect webinar funnel is crafted and created to sell more expensive things. Okay, because again, someone's coming in, they're hearing you speak for 60 to 90 minutes, that's where they get tons of value, and then that's why it's okay and you're able to sell them at the end of it. Okay, and so for some of you guys, this is going to be the funnel that makes the most sense for you if you have got more of a high ticket, more expensive type product. Okay, this is an example of one of my webinars. It's called Funnel Hacks. We launched this thing, I think 4 months ago. During the presentation, we sell a $1,000 product. In the first 3 weeks, we did $1 million in sales. We're over 2 million right now, and it just makes a ton of money. And it's a really cool process. So what happens is we drive people to this page, they click on the button, they register for webinar, and then typically what we'll do is we'll do these webinars on a Thursday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're driving traffic to this webinar. They register. Then Thursday, they show up to the webinar. We get on there. I do my little presentation. I teach. I provide a bunch of value. At the end, I make a special offer, and a percentage of people will always buy at the end. And it's amazing how much money you can make with these. So this is one of our webinar funnels. It's called Funnel Hacks. This is Liz Benny's. So I showed you guys the video from Liz earlier. So this is the funnel we decided to start with her. I remember she was like at first well, should I make a free plus shipping thing? What should I do? And I'm like, no, with you, like you want to sell about a $1,000 product for your business, for what you're trying to create, the webinar is the right type of funnel. So she built her webinar funnel out. She created her webinar. She followed the perfect webinar script that's in the book to a T. And it's kind of a funny process. She started driving traffic to it. At first it didn't work, and she had tweaked a couple things. And now every time she does the webinar, every Thursday she does a webinar and she crushes it, and then she'll Vox me afterwards and she'll send me the numbers just to kind of, because for me I love, like, nothing gets me more excited than seeing people's success. And so she'll Vox me like, hey, this is how many sales we got. And it's crazy because every single week she'll get anywhere from 800 to 1,500 people to register for this webinar. By buying ads, she's spending between $1 and $3 to get someone to register for the webinar. Let's say she gets 1,500 people, about a third of those people show up live. She does the webinar live, and when she's on there, she'll get anywhere from 10 to 15% of people to buy. And so when she's on the live webinar, it's so funny because she'll do the webinar, and then she'll text me afterwards, hey, made 23,000 bucks. And boom, I'll see that text come in, and then she has a follow-up sequence that she'll take people through, and the next day she's like, boom, I'm up to 33,000. And the next day I'm up to 55,000, and then whatever ends up being at the end of the week. And it's crazy. And every single week, by doing this little webinar process, where literally she's a hard worker, but she doesn't have to do much all week long. People are driving traffic for her. She gets people in. The webinar happens on Thursday. She shows up, does a 2-hour presentation, and she's done. And she's making $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a week in and week out with this webinar funnel. Okay, so if you guys are selling a product that kind of fits in that price range, this webinar funnel is just amazing. It provides tons of value. It builds your list really, really quick, and it's an easy and amazing way to sell things like that. One of the cool things, and as Chad is someone here, Chad's a chiropractor, you guys know, and he's been doing his thing locally. And one of the cool things about watching him with his company is he's been taking that from this local thing, like how do I serve people when I'm not just bound by my geographic location? Like how do I break out of that? And so he's taking his knowledge and his skills now and turning it into a perfect webinar where now he can sell $300,000, $500,000 packages to people all around the world. And it's just cool to see how you can take your expertise, because so many of us, we put these limits on ourselves, right? Especially the local business owners here. Like here's my geography, I can attract people around here, but you've got skills that you can serve people from everywhere. So how do you change this and tweak that? And the webinar is a way that you can really take your message out to the masses. So that's a webinar funnel. And the last is a high ticket funnel. And this is where you're selling really, really expensive stuff, anywhere from a couple $1,000 up to, again, as big as your mind can dream. And so that's what the high ticket funnel is. And I'll show you kind of our high ticket funnel. This is what it looks like for us. And I've got a bunch of different variations of this. This is one, there's a video Tony Robbins talking about me. I've got one with Liz. I've got one with a whole bunch of other people talking about their experience with me, the result they had. And afterwards, there's a button that says, if you want to learn more, you got to apply. They click on the application button, they apply, and then from there, there's this whole process behind the scenes where they get a phone call and they get sold into our hiring coaching programs. And so for you guys, if you're selling coaching or consulting or high ticket things that are expensive, that are hard to sell just on a webinar in a group selling situation, but you got to sell it more one-on-one. So I found when you go over about $2,000 to $3,000, most people to be willing to pull a credit card out and like call their bank and increase their limits so they can spend more than $2,000 or $3,000. It typically doesn't happen like in a group setting where I'm just pitching it and everyone signs up. It typically takes more touches to get someone to do that. So we do that through like a high ticket funnel where there's a phone call afterwards, someone's actually talking to them on the phone and selling the more expensive thing. Okay, so that's kind of what the high ticket one looks like. This is another guy, he's inside of ClickFunnels. I just met him, got to know him in the last couple weeks. This is his high ticket funnel. Right now they're doing about $300,000 a month on it, and it's very similar to the way that we structure our high ticket funnel as well. He's selling, every month he does a 4-day, he calls it his warrior week, and he gets people to pay $10,000 to come to his warrior week, and he beats the crap out of them for 4 days. And then at the event, he sells them a $50,000 year-long version of him beating the crap out of him. It's pretty cool, and he's crushing it. But it's again a high-ticket thing. So if you've got something where you're thinking like high-ticket, expensive things like that, then the high-ticket funnel is going to be the one for you. So the first thing I want you guys to kind of think about right now is for your business right now, the one we're going to be focusing on kind of over this process, which one makes the most sense for you? Are you going to be starting with some kind of like tripwire funnel? Does that make the most sense for your business? Or do you need to focus more on like a perfect webinar type funnel? Or do you want to work more on like a high ticket type funnel? Which one makes the most sense for your business? So I want you to take a second, kind of mark down which one makes the most sense for you. And then we're going to go around the room and kind of talk about which one you chose and why you think it's going to be a good fit for your company.
our company is a supplement company, so the best thing that we're thinking of is the Tripwire. And what we're kind of thinking is doing like a free plus shipping offer. Basically, if we can get people to try our product, then we'll have a recurring revenue that keeps coming in.
I drive traffic and I'm a media buyer. What I'm thinking most importantly for me is to get people to see testimonials from other people and the other success that I've had. So I'm going to do a high ticket funnel where they land on the landing page, they see a testimonial and they go to an opt-in and an application and a homework page, and then just have people call in the app. So I think that's the most important thing that I can do to get the best return.
I have a couple different things that I do. I teach martial arts, and I have a lot of videos that people buy from me all across the world. And then I also have a survival channel as well. So I do two different things, and I can see all of these working in both of these. I think for the martial arts side, the Tripwire, I'm in the process of writing a book right now, and so that would be the perfect thing to do. But I can also see the webinars as well, getting people in to come in and then, so, and the higher ticket item too, I mean, what we were talking about having them come in for a week and sell that as well. So how's that for an answer?
So which funnel do you think you're going to do first?
Tripwire, I think, is the thing that's going to, I mean, in the step process, the Tripwire, I think, is the way to start this out.
We've got a local clinic here in the area, but obviously I want to reach more people on a national and international level. So I'm actually in the process of doing the webinar. Just about all the steps are complete. I'm just kind of fine-tuning a couple little things. We've already done some kind of test traffic driven to it. It's working so far as that process. I've just got to tweak a few little things. And but yeah, it's definitely the webinar for me, and it's awesome. I love it.
And what are you going to be selling on the webinar?
So what I'm going to be selling, obviously, as a chiropractor, I adjust people, so I can't really do that telekinetically over the phone. I guess some can, maybe. What I'm actually selling is more health coaching. So people with chronic health problems, what we do is there's some diagnostic testing that they can do in the convenience of their own home. There's a laboratory they send it into. The lab gives me the results. Then based on the results, I can create for them a customized treatment plan based off of supplements, lifestyle modifications, stuff like that. So
I'm trying to recruit people that don't want to leave where they're at because they're already happy where they're at as real estate agents. And so to get their attention, I was thinking of a couple different things. Like, I like these quizzes online. I think that they're pretty helpful. But also, if you had like a personality test that kind of had your personality and how you've done in real estate and kind of the best way that you could apply that sales going forward. So I also thought about that, or an actual like a real estate marketing analysis, so you can see exactly where you're at and how you can improve. And I think those two things would be a good tripwire, just because everyone's interested or curious how their particular personality would come across, or what like some ideas would be to, whether it be email marketing or face-to-face or open houses or what it may be. So I think that those two tripwires could be good. Also, a free giveaway of a book, like a really good book that I thought, just to keep in contact with these people.
So my company provides marketing services and consultation and training for entrepreneurs and business owners, and we already have a couple of tripwires in place, but I'm already thinking of ways to redo those so that they can flow better into a perfect webinar. I've helped a lot of people put on webinars that have been successful, but I haven't done very many recently, and so it's time to rethink the whole webinar strategy.
So we've built a webinar that it works. It's a pretty compelling story. It took quite a while to put it together. Going through it the first time, your coaching was helpful. And so that's where we're focusing, is on the webinar funnel. And on the front end, we'll do a quiz, basic health quiz, a wellness quiz that people will say, oh, I've got that, oh, I need that. And then that will take them immediately to a sales video. And the sales video then gets them to the webinar. So once they're ready for the webinar, they'll actually go through an application process at the end of that. And then basically, until they are a client, they're out of my hands. So I'll just let somebody else actually go through the application process with them. It's cool.
There's a couple different businesses that we've got, but one of the main ones that I'm concerned about and want to do is Soil Pro RX, and it's a supplement that goes on the ground. So to get that out to retail, to clients that are actually in subdivisions, but also to the large farmers and to golf courses in different places. I think we're going to have to build a tripwire first. A webinar wouldn't work very well for getting that out to retail clients, so we're going to build a tripwire.
We have a company, shakethings.com, and we're going to go with the tripwire. I think that will work the best. We have a free jumpstart guide that we're going to offer, and we like to teach people that, you know, eating well shouldn't be rocket science. So, you know, we're just going to kind of lead them into that, and I think the tripwire is going to work the best.
Well, I'm in a network marketing profession in the health and fitness arena, and we already have a tripwire. It does okay, but I've found some room here where I can probably make it better. But also, when you're talking about the perfect webinar, I got an idea sparked with me, because we have people come into our business now. They come in and we have some other things we get them in, some systems we can get them into. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually make the perfect webinar and put a package together in that webinar, so when they come in, they're going to come in at a little higher ticket price, and I think it's going to get me a lot better kind of prospect for our business opportunity. So I'm going to definitely do the perfect webinar.